Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today I'm going to be doing a Plunder Patrol deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this for you guys because this deck just got some insane support out of Photon Hypernova, giving us an awesome new extra deck monster, Plunder Patrol Yord, which is just such a powerful card for this deck. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards, like getting your name screwed every single video, getting a signed cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your Patreon. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Whitebeard. Whitebeard is a definite 3 of the deck, and one of the best Plunder Patrol main deck monsters that we actually have. This card has an absolutely crazy effect that during your opponent's turn, a quick effect, you can special summon one Plunder Patrol monster from your X deck with the same attribute as a monster that your opponent controls or is in their graveyard. And if you do, equip this card that you control to that monster, which is basically a crazy effect that gets you a monster on your side of the field directly from your X deck using just this card, which is super cool. It also has the ability, if this card is sent from your hand or monster zone to the graveyard, then you can activate this effect to be able to special summon one Plunder Patrol monster from your deck, except another copy of this card, which is just a really cool effect to be able to use with this card's effect. We then play 3 copies of Golden Hair. Golden Hair is a definite 3 in the deck that can basically just instantly special summon itself to your side of the field. She has the ability that you can send one other Plunder Patrol monster card from your hand or face it in the field of the graveyard to special summon this card from your hand, and if this card is in your graveyard, you can discard a card and then special summon this card to your side of the field, but you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except Plunder Patrol monsters, which is totally fine because that's pretty much all we're summoning in the deck anyways. We then play 3 copies of Bluebeard. Bluebeard is a definite 3 of in the deck, and a really good card in this particular build that if you control a Plunder Patrol monster except another copy of Bluebeard, you can special summon this card from your hand. And if this card is sent from the hand or monster zone to the graveyard, then you can discard a card to draw a card, which is a great effect to just be able to draw additional cards in this deck. We then play 3 copies of Black Eyes. Black Eyes is a really cool card in this deck and one of my favorite Plunder Patrol cards because it has the ability to target a Plunder Patrol monster in your graveyard, except another copy of this card, and special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, add that monster back to your hand. Also, you can't special summon monsters the rest of the turn except Plunder Patrol monsters, and if this card is sent from the hand or monster zone to the graveyard, you can target a Plunder Patrol monster card or in your spell and trap card zone and special summon a defense position, which is just a really good effect to basically just get one of your Plunder Patrol monsters off the ship and back to your side of the field, which is just really cool. We then play just 2 copies of Redbeard. I feel like Redbeard is still a really good card in this particular deck, but it's a little bit slower than Whitebeard, which is why I have bumped this card down to 2 in this particular build, but it's still a definite 2 of in this deck. We then play 3 copies of Water Enchantress. Water Enchantress is really good in the deck for the adventure package that we're playing in this deck, just to be able to get to your copy of Rite of Arameser extremely quickly. We then play a single copy of Wandering Griffin Rider. Wandering Griffin Rider is a negate in this deck, and one of the only other cards we're special summoning in this deck that is not actually a Plunder Patrol monster. But this card is really good because it is a walking negate. We then play a single copy of Knight. Knight is really good as a 1 of in this particular deck, just to be able to break your opponent's board, and this card is a definite 1 of in the build, especially if you're going first in this particular, you're going second in this particular build. You basically just give this card to your opponent and break their board, which is really nice. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom is a definite 3 of the deck, just to be able to stop your opponent from touching the deck. It's just a really good card overall in this particular build. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing a single copy of Foolish Burial. Foolish Burial is really good in this particular deck to get the exact card that you need in the graveyard when you need it. We then play a single copy of Change of Heart and a single copy of Mind Control. These are just really good to take your opponent's monsters for your own, and it just really goes with the pirate archetype. I really love these cards in this particular deck, and they do help out a lot in this particular build. I then play a single copy of Terraforming. Terraforming is a great 1 of the deck deck to be able to get to your copy of Shipyard, and it's just a really cool card in this particular deck. We then play a single copy of Fateful Adventure. Fateful Adventure is just really good in this particular build to combo with your adventure package, but you only need a single copy of this card because you only ever want to see a single copy of this card in this particular deck. But it basically helps you get to all of your other adventure pieces, which is really good. We then play a single copy of Dracoback. Dracoback's a good one of in the deck. This card just helps you bounce cards. It works extremely well with your adventure package, but you only need a single copy of this card. We then play 3 copies of Rite of Arameser. Rite of Arameser generates you a token, which is really cool in this particular deck, and it's just a fantastic 3 of in this particular build because it's just a great engine to be able to play in Plunder Patrol. This card also gets you to Fateful Adventure, which is just really nice. We then play 3 copies of Plunder Patrol Shipyard. I love this card. I love saying this card. This card makes me want to play this deck so much, and I love this card in this deck. This card has the ability that Plunder Patrol monsters that you control gain 500 attack for each Plunder Patrol card in your spell and trap card zone, and you can only use the following effects this card once per turn, but you can discard a card to add a Plunder Patrol card from your deck to your hand, except another copy of this card, which is just a really good effect to be able to get you a search from deck. It also has the ability, if this card is in your graveyard, then you can target a Plunder Patrol card in your spell and trap card zone, set this card to your side of the field, and if you do, return that target back to the hand, which is really good because again, it gets one of your Plunder Patrol crewmates off of a ship and puts them back into your hand while also getting your copy of Shipyard back on your side of the field, which is super good. We then play 3 copies of Triple Tactical Talents. Triple Tactical Talents is just really good in this particular deck because it gets you all sorts of really cool effects if you do get hand trapped, which is just really nice in this particular deck. Sometimes you will use the draw to, a lot of times I use the take a monster from the opponent, and even sometimes to get a little bit of knowledge from my opponent's hand, I will look at the opponent's hand and make them get rid of a card, which is just really, really good. We then also play 3 copies of Book of Eclipse. Book of Eclipse is really good to be able to break your opponent's board. Basically just flip all of your opponent's monsters face down. It's really good in the Kashtira matchup, and it's just a really good card in this particular deck overall. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing 2 copies of Yord. Yord is a definite 2 of in this particular deck. This card is absolutely crazy. I love this card. It does everything it needed to do for this particular deck, and it's just super good. Its scale effect is that you can declare 1 attribute and return this card back to the extra deck, and if you do, you special summon out a Plunder Patrol token that's a Fiend, level 4, 0 attack, and 0 defense, with that attribute to both players' fields in defense position, which is great because you can actually use that token to be able to go into your copy of Blackbeard, which is really good. But it also gives your opponent a token on their side of the field, so if you're playing against Kashtira, they can't actually special summon since they control a monster, which is super good. But it also gives you the exact attribute that you want your opponent to have because you get to call the attribute, which is really nice. This card also has a great monster effect that if your opponent special summons a monster, except during the damage step, you can add a Plunder Patrol card from your deck to your hand. Then, if this card is equipped with a Plunder Patrol card, you can special summon a Plunder Patrol monster from your deck to your side of the field, which is just absolutely crazy. This card does everything you need it to do, and it's just really, really good. It also says that you can target a Plunder Patrol card in your graveyard and add it back to your hand. If you do, place this card in your Pendulum Zone, so it doesn't even have to be destroyed to place this card in the Pendulum Zone, which is just really, really good. This card is a definite 2 of in the deck and a really cool card. We then play 2 copies of Brawn. Brawn is the Brawn of the deck and just really good because all their Fiend monsters that you control gain 500 attack points, and you can also discard 1 Plunder Patrol card and target a spell or trap that your opponent controls and banish it. Then you can add a Plunder Patrol monster from your deck to your hand, and it's a quick effect, and this card is equipped with a Plunder Patrol card, which is a great effect for this card to have. We then play 3 copies of Moark. Moark is one of the best ships in the entire deck and a really cool card in this particular build because you can discard 1 Plunder Patrol card and then target an effect monster that your opponent controls and banish it. Then you can add a Plunder Patrol spell or trap from your deck to your hand. And this is a quick effect if it has a Plunder Patrol card equipped to this card, which is really good. Essentially, someone to man the ship, which is just a really awesome effect. It also has the ability of a Plunder Patrol card or cards that you control would be destroyed by battle by dark card effect, you can detach a material from this card instead, giving you a little bit of protection. We then play 2 copies of Lice. Lice is a good 2 of them in the deck, but you only need 2 copies of Lice in this particular build. It's a really good card because during the main phase quick effect, you can special summon a Plunder Patrol monster card from your hand or face up from your spell and trap card zone, which is really good. It also has the ability that when your opponent activates a monster effect quick effect, you can discard a Plunder Patrol card and negate the activation. If you do destroy it, then if this card was equipped with a Plunder Patrol card, you can add a Plunder Patrol card from your deck to your hand. So this card is a Searcher and a Walking Negate, which is just really insane. We then play 3 copies of Blackbeard. Blackbeard is one of the most crazy Link 2s in the entire game and makes the entire deck function. I love this card in the deck because it has the ability to take 2 monsters, including a Plunder Patrol monster, which the token is a monster that's a Plunder Patrol monster, which is cool. But it has the ability to quick effect. You can target an effect monster that you control and then special summon 1 Plunder Patrol monster from your extra deck with the same attribute as a monster that your opponent controls or in their graveyard, and if you do, equip that targeted monster to it and then draw a card. It's such a cool effect to be able to use in this deck, and this is a card you want to summon all the time in this particular build. I'm then playing a single copy of Mudracker. Mudracker is just really good because we play pretty much all fiends in the deck. All the ships are fiends. Your copy of Blackbeard is a fiend. All of your main deck monsters are fiends. So this card is a definite one of in the deck. We then play a single copy of Donner. Donner is just really good against Kashtira. It basically is like a copy of Breaksword that you can pop a card on your side of the field and a card on your opponent's side of the field, but you have to pop your copy of Donner on your side of the field and then a card on your opponent's side of the field, which is just really good. So this card is a good one of in the deck to be able to out certain cards. And then finally, a single copy of Alamirage. Alamirage is just really good to work with your copy of Golden Hair, and this card is just a definite one of in the deck. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you did enjoy. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played Plunder Patrol before, this is a perfect time to play it, especially since all the cards got reprinted recently, which is just really, really nice. And plus, we just got Yord, and Yord is just so good in this deck. Yord just makes the deck function extremely well, and I absolutely love this card from playtesting. It's just super, super good. So, anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there to soon come part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.